Why don't you send me to prison and get me out of the way? Susan, I'm old enough to fight for my own happiness. Anyway, I saw him first.
One of the most recognizable child actors of the Great Depression, Shirley Temple brought smiles and hope to those who needed it most. Her musicals and iconic orphaned characters have become a landmark of cinema history. The actress passed away at the age of 85, yet most people still remember her as that charming young lady that loved to sing and dance. In this list, we will be looking at the top 10 Shirley Temple movies of all time.
Randy, you look as though you know you're being naughty and enjoying it.
Number 10, Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. Shirley Temple began her career at a very young age. The starlet was already a household name by the time she was 6 years old, and that's just when Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm was released. The movie features Temple in the role of Rebecca Winstead, a talented orphan whose life changes after winning a radio contest. Rebecca lives with her abusive stepfather, Harry Kipper. Kipper is an abominable man who abandons her when he thinks she lost a contest to become Little Miss America. Once he learns that Rebecca is actually talented, the man stops at nothing to regain her for some easy cash.
What have you got to lose? Get an old straw hat, a suit of overalls.
Thanks to her loving Aunt Miranda, Rebecca will discover the true value of her voice. This film reunites Temple with Randolph Scott. The duo would star in 3 musicals together and was a popular sensation of the time. Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm also contains a famous scene in which Temple and Bill Robinson sing and dance on a flight of stairs.
Goodbye, Doctor, and thanks. I hope I can do the same for you someday. Rebecca!
Number 9, Poor Little Rich Girl. In this 1936 musical, Temple plays young Barbara Barry, the daughter of a wealthy soap manufacturer. Poor Little Rich Girl is also one of the very first films to be produced by the 20th Century Fox Film Corporation. Richard Barry, a soap manufacturer, worries that his daughter, Barbara, isn't spending much time with other kids her age. As a solution, Richard decides to send Barbara to a boarding school. However, things don't go as planned, and after a series of unfortunate events, Barbara is left alone to wander the streets of the city.
You are? You're Tony.
That's right. Antonio is my middle name.
I'm on my vacation. Do you want to come along?
Luckily for her, she finds a pair of vaudeville performers who are instantly charmed by her singing skills. They decide to let her sing on their radio show, where she enjoys immediate success. One of the movie's most memorable scenes features a synchronized tap dance between Jack Haley, Alice Faye, and Shirley Temple. Although they were all gifted tap dancers, the number was one of the most daunting scenes of the film, requiring endless takes to finally get right.
She lost her purse and went away, so I thought I'd go on a vacation. I found Tony, and then Mr. and Mrs. Puddinhead found me.
Number 8, The Little Colonel. If music truly is a universal language, then surely it can achieve peace in times of war. At least, that's the basic premise of 1935's The Little Colonel. Set in post-Civil War South, this comedy musical stars Temple as Lloyd Sherman, a girl that tries to reunite her parents with her stern grandfather. After the Civil War, Southern belle Elizabeth Lloyd marries Jack Sherman, a Northerner. This infuriates Elizabeth's father, Colonel Lloyd, a plantation owner. 6 years later, Elizabeth and Jack have a daughter they named Lloyd Sherman.
And then I'll order my men to advance, and I'll wipe out the whole regiment.
When Lloyd learns about her grandfather and her relationship with her parents, she develops a tense friendship with the Colonel. It's up to Lloyd and her charm to reconcile her family, proving that love is more powerful than any other ideology. In this film, Shirley Temple shares the spotlight with veteran actor Lionel Barrymore. Temple impressed the seasoned performer by memorizing all of her lines, something that not even Barrymore could achieve.
Becky!
Can't I even give him just one little kiss?
No, darling. You go with Becky.
Number 7, I'll Be Seeing You. By the early 40s, Shirley Temple's reputation as a child star and a talented performer were already well established. However, the young actress would sometimes step outside her comfort zone to tackle more demanding roles. Such is the case of I'll Be Seeing You, where she plays Barbara Marshall, the meddling cousin of a social outcast.
I was just thinking, that's an awfully nice suit you have on, Mary. Oh, thank you, Barbara.
On a train, Zach Morgan meets Mary Marshall. The pair quickly develop feelings for each other, ignoring that they both keep some deep secrets. Zach, an Army sergeant, has just been released from a military hospital due to shell shock. Mary, on the other hand, has been convicted for involuntary manslaughter. Between them stands Mary's cousin, Barbara, who threatens to divulge her cousin's secrets to Zach. Released near the end of World War II, I'll Be Seeing You became a great wartime success.
I told him. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't know.
Number 6. The Little Princess. Directed by Walter Lang, 1939's The Little Princess was Shirley Temple's first color film. A drama set in Victorian London, the movie also marks the last major success of Temple's days as a child star. Temple stars as Sarah Crewe, a little girl who attends an exclusive seminary. Sarah's father, Captain Crewe, serves the British Empire in the Second Boer War against the South African forces. He leaves his daughter in a prestigious seminary with all the money she could ever need, along with her beloved pony.
Miss Rose, my daddy's trafficking.
However, when Sarah's father is presumed dead, her life takes a sharp turn. Now, the young girl is forced to become a servant working for the school she used to attend. It takes more than that to bring Sarah down, and the girl uses her talents as a singer to look on the bright side of life. When it was released, The Little Princess was one of the most expensive films ever made. Its lavish budget of $1 million was well spent, however, as the movie became an instant box office success.
My father. They said he was killed at Map King, but I don't believe it. Maybe he was the new wounded man. They won't let me look.
Number 5. Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes is a movie that demanded a lot from a very young Shirley Temple. This comedy drama with musical elements was released in 1934 when Temple was just 6 years old. Picture this, when most of us were just learning how to read, Shirley Temple was already sharing top billing in Hollywood films.
If I close my eyes, I can make believe I'm really flying. Now I'm way, way up.
Temple plays the role of Shirley Blake, the 6-year-old daughter of Mary Blake. After her mother's untimely demise, Shirley looks for refuge in her aviator godfather. A close friend of her deceased father, her godfather is the only person that can protect her from a life as a homeless orphan. This movie also starred another successful child star, Jane Withers. The director, David Butler, auditioned over 30 girls for Withers' role, but knew he had struck gold when he saw the chemistry between Withers and Temple.
My doll. Well, I just found her here. You can't have her. You bad old thing.
Number 4. Heidi. Shirley Temple stars as the titular orphan girl in this 1937 musical drama. This version of Heidi is loosely based on the 1881 children's story of the same name, featuring an orphan girl living in the Swiss Alps with her grandpa. Heidi's grandpa is a reclusive man, living a quiet life in his sleepy mountain cottage. Thanks to Heidi's love and care, her grandpa learns the importance of having a social life, and he slowly opens up to the people of a nearby village.
Well, I think everybody really ought to go to church on Sunday. And I think there ought to be a Frau Schultz.
Additionally, Heidi befriends Clara, a sheltered handicapped girl who becomes Heidi's closest friend. This movie was very demanding for the young Temple, especially because she had to do many of her own stunts. These included being headbutted by a goat and eating a handful of artificial snow. This last act caused her some severe throat problems, forcing production to improvise to hide her sickness.
What has Sesemann to do with this?
Nothing at all.
He has to. Aunt Daisy brought me there to play with Clara.
Number 3. The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer. This romantic comedy stars Temple as Susan Turner, a young and bright girl who falls in love with Richard Nugent, a much older man. Susan is the sister of Margaret, a judge, and her only legal guardian. It is pretty remarkable that Temple plays the sister of actress Myrna Loy, taking into account their 23-year age gap.
What apartment is Mr. Nugent in?
He isn't in any apartment.
Doesn't he live here?
Sure, but he isn't home.
Susan has a reputation for falling in love quickly, a talent that is on full display when she falls for Richard, a charming artist. However, Susan is only 17 years old, while Richard is old enough to be her father. This mismatched couple gets into all sorts of comedic misunderstandings, made worse by Susan's strong infatuation with Richard. Despite her young age, Shirley Temple was already on her way to become a full-fledged adult. The young actress was just 18 years old when she starred in The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer, yet she was already married for 10 months. Cary Grant, who plays her romantic interest, was 42 years old at the time of filming.
Perhaps not seeing your loved ones for a couple of years.
You're a fine boy, Jerry, and a good friend. Possibly Mr. Nugent doesn't know just how good.
Number 2. Since You Went Away. This 1944 drama offers contemporary audiences an interesting look at the everyday life of an American housewife during World War II. It was common for many American families to have a loved one serving in Europe during the Second World War. Since You Went Away is one of many movies that offered these families some kind of relief from the horrors of war. Anne Hilton, an upper-middle-class housewife, raises her 2 daughters, Jane and Bridget, all by herself.
Oh, Colonel Smalley, I wouldn't hurt your feelings for anything.
And it's not a question of my feelings. After all, a man does have his pride.
Her husband Tom is overseas helping the Allies win World War II, leaving Anne to take care of the house. However, life in the U.S. can be as rough as it is on the battlefield, and Anne does whatever she can to keep her daughters entertained. Temple plays the role of Bridget, Anne's younger daughter. The young actress nearly wasn't in the film, however, as she had been retired for 2 years before accepting the role. Luckily, Since You Went Away didn't harm her career. On the contrary, the movie was nominated 9 times at the Academy Awards.
And please, God, make Bob safe. Oh, I know he is safe. You wouldn't let anything happen to him.
Our number 1 pick is Fort Apache. Directed by John Ford and starring John Wayne and Henry Fonda, Fort Apache is considered one of the most influential westerns of American cinema. It's also one of the first to be considered a pro-Indian western, as it treated its Native American characters with the respect they deserve. The story takes place at Fort Apache, Arizona, and focuses on Captain Kirby York. A veteran of the Civil War, York is respected by many and seen as a logical choice to lead Fort Apache. However, command of the post is given to Lieutenant Owen Thursday, a bloodthirsty man.
Busted to meet you. You're a blackguard, a liar, a hypocrite, and a stench in the nostrils of honest men.
In this film, Temple plays Philadelphia, the daughter of Lieutenant Thursday. Temple had a rough time filming Fort Apache. Starring alongside her husband, John Agar, Temple was also pregnant at the time. She, alongside the rest of the production team, was worried that riding horses in her state could induce a miscarriage. Thankfully, that didn't happen, and her first daughter, Linda Susan, was born on January 30, 1948. Fort Apache was a hit with critics and audiences, even with contemporary ones. As proof of that, we have the film's respectable IMDb score of 7.5 on a scale of 10.
I sent a courier to Fort Grant. They can only hold out. Here, get on my horse.
Do you agree with our list? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be the first to receive new Top 10 videos from Stream TV.